Starting with a recruiting update, Jordan. Obviously, we had a recent commit. Cameron Cody got brought on most recently, making the eighth official verbal commitment out of that elite retreat weekend that Clemson had a couple weeks back. Recruiting the 2026 recruiting class still chugging right along, still ranked second in the nation. Obviously, we do not expect it to finish there, but we are continuing the momentum. Do think it's got a potential to end up being a top 10 class. So, what is new in the recruiting world with the addition of Cameron Cody?
Yeah, to kind of just close the book on Cameron Cody. I mean, this was a kid that he's been familiar with Clemson for a really long time. If you guys watched the video, I said that. He actually, I believe he camped at a Brad Brownell basketball camp when he was in 8th grade. He's always been just had a strong affinity for Clemson. And, when they showed interest and he landed that offer, he only had to visit that one time.
All right.
And he knew that this is where he wanted to be. So, I mean, I think Clemson is getting a really, really good athlete and a guy that I think is going to potentially develop into a really good starter for you down the road. The frame is not going to jump off the page at you, but that's really just, I mean, Clemson has had a lot of success over the years with, kind of undersized defensive linemen. So, but you see the quick hands, the twitch. He played all along the defensive line in high school. So he has a lot of skill sets and versatility that I think will be good for this defensive line group when he gets to campus. So big first addition to the defensive line class for Nick Eason and Chris Rumpf. And there's still quite a few other guys out there on the board that Clemson is still after. But elsewhere, there are another defensive lineman that I'm monitoring is defensive end Ashton Blatt. He's kind of been a fast riser, so to speak. That Clemson and his recruitment has kind of ramped up really quickly as of late. He's a guy that I think I'm keeping my eye on as we get deeper into the month. Clemson really likes him, and he's becoming more and more of a priority. Along with Cam Brooks and Bryce Perry White, Drake Quinn at that defensive end position. So keep an eye out on those three guys. And then back on the wide receiver front, I think the biggest fish that Clemson would still like to get on the board is Providence Day wide receiver Gordon Sellars. This is going to be a recruitment that is. I think this is a recruitment you're going to have to just kind of be patient. He's taken a lot of visits. South Carolina has been in on him, Florida State, Tennessee. From everything that I've gathered, Clemson is still I think Clemson has a lot of confidence in that recruitment right now. So just kind of keep an eye on him as we get deeper into the month. But he's planning to decide, I believe, on the 18th. So we're getting close, and we're getting to that crunch time period. But as it stands now, Clemson still feels very confident with where they stand. I think that I think Gordon is doing his due diligence right now and taking the visits that he can and making sure that he makes the right decision for himself. But I think Clemson has done a phenomenal job with him. And we'll just, we'll see when we get to that decision date where things stand. So that's my little recruiting update. I don't like to spend too much time on this because we've got a lot of other stuff to get on. But Clemson also hosted a bunch of rising juniors this past weekend. Headlined by Sequel Patterson. It's never too early to talk about 2027, guys. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Clemson is sowing the seeds for that class as well, and there's quite a few intriguing prospects. But I mentioned Sequel Patterson, one of the top wide receivers in that 2027 class. Listen, if you land a guy like Gordon Sellars to pair with Naeem Burrows and Connor Salmon, and then 2027, you start your wide receiver class with Sequel Patterson. I mean, listen, the future of the wide receiver position at Clemson is already pretty bright, but that would very much cement it. So that's my little recruiting update. Yeah, Isaac Smith mentions Max Brown. Yes, Max Brown included Sammy Brown's little brother, who they say is the better athlete. So hey, listen, the tape is pretty good. I mean, I would have to I don't know if I see the better athlete side of things, it might be debatable, but he is a really, really great athlete. Hey, listen, if you can get both brothers, that would be a really, really massive step up too. So at the linebacker position. So recruiting at Clemson, they have they're hitting their stride right now. That's for sure, as you guys have seen over the last a couple of months or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and as we know, this 2026 recruiting class has started off with a bang, and it is continuing with the addition of Kameron Cody this week. But it is an ever fluid thing, and momentum is a huge thing in recruiting. Got the big official visit weekend coming up at the end of May, June timeframe. So looking forward to that, continuing the momentum. But it's far from over, and Clemson's still got a lot of work to do between now and that December early signing period where you lock up pretty much your entire class.